irony is that you can't feel lonely. You sing it. So how can you tell me that you're lonely? Or say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and I'll lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Make you change your mind.
He just had to be there. He just created this core. He just created this core of energy, and you were just drawn to it. I mean, my whole commune family was there. It was just wonderful. And then when he went to Europe, we traveled. Half of us went to Europe with him, and the energy just built and it grew. But he was the core. He was directing the whole thing. It was just amazing. You just had this feeling of what was happening right there, right at that time, and you just knew. You were just at a happening.
When he split, what happened to that group of people that you were hanging out with?
Well, the family stayed together, but we didn't know where he went. I mean, some of us had a feeling that something really bad happened to him, but there was a lot of us, and I really have to say, I mean, I felt in my heart that he was still he was around. Like, it was like...
Charlie Zen, yeah, I must have known him better than his own family did, because I was working through all of his lyrics for my PhD dissertation, and we used to spend hours in the Union just going over and over the meaning of his lyrics and what they meant sociologically, politically, from a literary standpoint. And then all of a sudden, one day he disappears. He just takes off. It says he's looking for something. But we just don't hear from him except, you know, a few letters now and then from Africa and Australia and Europe, but no real answers. And that's what I'm hoping for, because they say that he's coming back. Because I've been waiting 20 years and I still haven't finished my PhD thesis. I've just been holding out hope that maybe he really is coming back and I can finish. But I don't know. I'm just hoping we get some answers. And wherever he is, I hope that this is it for me and for him.
Set of advisors to hang out for 20 years waiting on. Are they also Charlie fanatics? Do they understand the problems that you've been having with your PhD?
Well, you know, to tell you the truth, I don't think they really understand why Charlie's work is so important to Western music. But I do. That's the thing. I know why he has such a gift to give to all of us, and why it's important that we document it, we study it, we do a full semiotic analysis of all the words, and I really think that they hang together in a certain way that no one else has been able to figure out. Because I have a couple algorithms I've developed and models that I think I can run, but I just have a few more questions I have to ask him, like what the meaning of that song was on Zen Redux, you know, his very important album he released. Well, I've heard he's reemerged, but I just don't know. You know, like the letters. I don't know if they were real or if they were just from someone else who was trying to string me along for another 5 years.
You know this guy. Doesn't it make you angry that he hasn't written you?
Well, I figure he must have a good reason for not writing. I mean, he knew that I was the only person really in any university that was trying to do any sort of study of him, but for some reason, I guess he just had to have some space, and that's important to an artist. You know, they have to have some time to be able to gather their thoughts so that they can do what they do best. I mean, I know every single thing he did and all of his style and every signature that he has. You can tell.
So you're a Charlie expert.
Absolutely. I mean, I've studied everything. I've studied all his lyrics, all his influences, going back like 30 years. I have index cards over here with every lyric, cross-referenced to every song.
Did you see the pictures of the show that he allegedly played at last week?
I saw them, but they were all kind of grainy, so I couldn't be completely sure that it was really him, though.
Just the internet downloads?
Yeah. That's all I could get for what I could find on the computer. And whoever put them up, just, they weren't doing a really good job.
Yeah, okay. Well, I hope he's back. I hope it's true. I'm trying to make this person disappear so long ago. He had a huge impact and then vanished. Now he's back. How does he expect his fans to react?
Well, I think that they're a very understanding group because I studied them, and his fans are some of the most dedicated people you've ever seen in your life. And they would follow him from one concert to another, even around the world, just trying to make sure that they got every nuance of what he was trying to say. Because they looked at him not just as a musician, but as a man who was trying to impart the truth.
Charlie, we can't thank you enough for granting us this exclusive interview.
Problem.
First, I have to ask you about the shirt you're wearing. Does it have some special meaning?
Well, Cher made this for me. Not many people know that she is an excellent seamstress. I wrote to her from the various concert venues around the world when I was touring, and she would sew the flag for that country on this shirt until she finally completed it and gave it to me as a gift. I had a great jam session with Greg that day.
Charlie, there have been a lot of recent headlines attributing the downfall of communism to Ronald Reagan, but the rumors still circulate that you had some involvement in that.
Well, I wouldn't take credit for the downfall of communism. I'll leave that to the politicians. When I gave a private concert for Gorby back in 1989, I could tell that he was feeling the vibes and he was starting to waver.
Wow, were you there when the wall came down?
As a matter of fact, Brad, I was. The authorities had me there in disguise to avoid any political ramifications. They addressed me as Big Bird. You may have seen the film clips. The logic was that Big Bird is the one character in the world that everyone knows and no one would dare to assassinate. The entire suit was bulletproof.
Some people are wondering if it's really you. Can you assuage our doubts?
Let's just say, Brad, that if there's any doubt as to whether our law enforcement authorities are coordinated, I can tell you from experience they definitely are.
What about Bob Johnson? He was more than a little upset after his interview with us. He feels you abandoned his PhD efforts.
Bob's been obsessed with finding some sort of code in my lyrics, as if I'm some kind of channel for an external force. I have to admit the algorithms look promising, but I think it's time that Bob takes a cold shower and stops blaming me for the delay of his PhD.
What about the promoters and the agents seeking endorsements now that you're back? It's a whole different world out there.
Well, it didn't come back for me, and I didn't come back for the money or the endorsements. I came back for the fans. I think that's all for me.
It's just